going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, do me a solid, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because it'll let you guys know every time we upload. But with that being said, we're gonna be talking about some seats today. Obviously, I mentioned it in the description of the video, but I've been holding off for a really long time because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to talk about these seats, but I think it's only appropriate that I give you guys my personal experience with these seats. Now, granted, not everyone is going to have the same experience. I'm sure there are other people that have way better experiences than me, but I felt it was only right for me to just talk about my experience with these seats and with this brand in particular. So with that being said, let me show you the seats. All right, so I have to give massive credit to the individuals that do B-roll shots on seats, because there really isn't that much B-roll you could do on seats. So enjoy what I gave you, because it was really difficult to actually get some stuff. Also too, I went ahead and put on my hat because the sun is out, and obviously I know I'm gonna be in the car, but sometimes when you're out here, you get caught squinting, and at least the hat will help out just a little bit. But anyway, so just to start off, the seats themselves are really comfortable. I'm sitting in here nice and cozy. The seats themselves, they hold me in place. They go for my shoulders. Perfect placement for me. I'm a taller guy, I'm 6'2", so the seats themselves actually fit really well, at least for me. When it comes to putting on my harnesses and everything like that, when I did have them, I had to take them off. That's a whole different story. If you didn't watch me getting pulled over, I had to remove the harnesses because of a whole inspection thing. But anyway, they fit perfect, and I don't know, I like the seats all around. They hug me really well, and I also like the materials that I chose. So if you look, I got this pleather, because it's not real leather, it's pleather with this little pattern here, along with the red Braum and this suede material. The only thing I hate about this style is that it starts to fade into like this gray over time, and I think that's just that material in general. But I mainly got it because it has the red stitching. I like the leather aspect, and then also too, I like leather, but when it gets hot in the summer, it can be really brutal. So that's why I went ahead and got the suede in the center. And this is also a nice touch. I really did like this. At first I wasn't a fan, but I ended up liking it. The material itself is really good. So if I was to rate this out of 10 as far as for being an affordable, it would probably be an 8 or a 9, right? As far as for looks out of budget, it's actually a really good budget seat. It doesn't necessarily break the bank. I mean, you technically get what you pay for. So the material is good, pretty good stitching, pretty good overall. As far as for it being manufactured, it's a pretty solid seat. Obviously, it's not no Recaro or anything like that, but if you're in a budget, these are actually really good and comfortable seats. Now, if you're on the bigger side, I don't know how these seats would really be for you. Now, keep in mind, they do have wider options, so that's always nice, right? The wider options are always nice. Given the fact that it is a little tight in here in the Mustang, I don't think I would ever go that route. But let me go into some cons really quick. The main reason why I'm considering getting rid of these seats, and it has to do with some fitment issues and some pretty big safety issues. Now let me go ahead and show you guys. Now, when it comes to fitment issues, that's a pretty large gap right there. I would say that's reasonable. That's really good. So like when I'm moving around, my door doesn't hit it and it doesn't rub up against my seat. So that's really nice. But when you go to the passenger side, that's a whole different story. So when you come to the passenger side, as you can see, I don't have the same space that I had on the driver's side. Why? I'm not 100% sure, but the fitment isn't the greatest. As you can see, it hits every single time. And when I'm driving, this seat tends to vibrate, squeak, and then hit this, and then it moves this around, and it also tends to squeak. Now, that's one of the downsides with the fitment. Now, fitment issue number 2 is going to come down to a fitment issue and a safety issue. Let me show you what I mean. So if you look on this side here, you have one bolt holding down the seat in the rear, and then, oh, what is this? You know, I've been looking for this. Anyway, hold on. So when you come on this side, you notice there's no bolt, and you notice fitment isn't necessarily the greatest. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably gonna be like, well, that doesn't look too bad, right? Well, it is kind of bad, because when you try to put a bolt in there, it comes in at an angle. So when you try to adjust that one, then you gotta readjust this side. And not just that, but when it comes to the front, You see these and these over here have a specific hole, obviously, and it's only a certain size, so you can't really move it around or have that much wiggle space. And if you try to do the rears first, as far as for bolting them down, you're gonna start messing up the little threads that come up for this bolt here. And I didn't want to do that. Obviously too, you can go ahead and make the hole a little bit wider, but then by doing that, you're messing with the structure of it and the safety aspect of things. And I didn't want to do that. But I feel like maybe if I want to keep the seats longer, that would probably be the best route. But you would think that the manufacturer of these seats would have created everything at least 99%. This is more like 80%. And obviously it's not the safest. Now, the main reason why I got these seats, not only because of the affordability of it, but because they look nice, the main reason is because of this. They allow you to recline. And I like that aspect because although I may have a rear seat delete in the rear, and obviously no one's gonna go back there, sometimes you can put things in there and you can move the seat around, because when you do long drives or when you're driving it for a pretty long time, you wanna be able to move back, relax, you know, crack your shoulders a little bit, crack your back, move around, and have some nice decent amount of space. But when you don't have that and you have those regular bucket seats, it can kind of be uncomfortable over time, especially if you're driving it for a pretty extended period. But the main reason why I decided to make this video and kind of break things down for you guys is because of this safety aspect right here. Now, when you have a seat, right, that isn't necessarily bolted down the best or safe, you would think that would be the sketchiest thing that you encounter, but it's not. Now, I would normally give a company some leeway, right? Some, oh, you know what, it happens type of thing, or, you know, it shouldn't be the biggest issue when it comes to safety, but it really is. Now, the biggest safety thing that I wanted to show you guys, right, is essentially what I don't think I should ever make a video on or should ever want to make a video on, especially when it comes to a big company like this. You would think that they would cross their T's and dot their I's and make sure all the safety aspect of things was important. Now, who knows? Maybe I got a bad batch. Maybe they're not meant for this seat, but they sent them to me. They fit, but they just don't work properly. And well, it's pretty sketchy. And this is what I mean. So if you look, the seat moves up and down properly. But this is not the issue. This is. You seen that? Now I can't move it, right? Lift the lever. Now it doesn't want to move. Now I put the lever and it moved. But imagine driving and there's an emergency up ahead and you have to slam on the brakes. You're essentially gonna slide forward like so. You shouldn't be doing that. Now, normally I'd be like whatever about it, contact the manufacturer and be like, hey, there's an issue. There's an issue with my seat rails. They are not locking how they're supposed to. But that's only if I got one. The passenger side does exactly the same thing. Now, the car is parked up against the wall and I don't want to move the car because that's just a lot of work and it's gonna be doing the same thing. But see, now it's locked. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift it as best as I can. And it moves it. Now granted, you hear that? It's not bolted down properly. It only has 3 bolts. Also another sketchy thing. What I find hilarious is, before I purchased these seats, someone told me, do not purchase them because they are not the safest seats. In other words, he said it like this. He said, if you care about your life, don't buy those seats. And I laughed and I was like, what are you talking about? You're just being dramatic and all that stuff. Now, I'm not trying to bash the company in any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to give you the experience that I've had with these seats. And clearly, comfortable looks, I'd give it a really, really good big thumbs up, you know? They look good, they're comfortable, but as far as for when it comes to safety, that isn't safe. And whenever I purchase aftermarket seats, I would expect them to at least be a little safe. Now granted, you pay for what you get, right? I went the more affordable route, so this is what happens when you do so. Now, I've purchased aftermarket seats, lower brands than this, and the bolts lined up. Yeah, they weren't the most comfortable seats, or they didn't look the best, but at least they weren't this bad. And that's just my opinion. That's just how I see things. Like again, guys, there's gonna be other people out there that have a way better experience than me. Maybe they reached out to the manufacturer and they fixed it, but this here, I just can't do. Now, if you own a seat from this company, comment down below, let me know your experience. Let me know if you've had a better experience than me. But as it seems right now, my experience isn't the greatest. Now again, guys, this isn't me trying to bash the company. This is me trying to, I guess you can say, educate some of you and show you guys what my experience is, all right? Not so much education, but more along the lines of showing you my experience. It hasn't been the greatest. As much as I would want to keep these seats in here and maybe switch brackets and try other brackets and so on and so forth, I just feel like I'm better off purchasing better quality seats so that I don't have to deal with this. Again, guys, you guys may have had a better experience, and maybe some of you guys have had the same experience as me. But that being said, guys, I didn't want to make this video, but I felt like if I didn't do that, I would be like everyone else that would just let other people purchase things without seeing other people's experience, whether it be good or bad. And I think that's a big issue in the car community. We kind of notice when there's parts that are not made right, not necessarily just with this company, but with other companies, and we kind of sweep it under the rug and be like, well, I'm never purchasing from them again because I don't want to have any headaches or issues with this company, and so on and so forth. And sometimes I feel like we need to at least show our experiences, whether it be positive or bad, because that's the only way we're gonna move forward and purchase better brands and support better brands. I already have my mind set on some other seats. I just wanted to share this with you guys because it's only right. But if you've had a better experience, let me know. If you have the same experience or even a worse experience, also let me know. But with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys next week, because that'll be our 3rd week of uploading Monday through Thursday, all the way up to Thanksgiving Day. So that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.